Frontline Updates, where we delve deep into military strategies and updates from conflict zones. Today, we're discussing the progress of the ongoing special military operation as of September 14, 2024. I'm your host, Sharifa Mohammed MGT.
I'm Colonel A.C. Oguntoye, an infantry officer. Extensive air and missile strikes. Russian air and missile forces were active, targeting Ukrainian military infrastructure, airfields, and concentrations of troops and equipment across multiple regions. Notable were the destruction of a launcher of the U.S.-made M270 MLRS and a workshop for UAV production.
Welcome to Frontline Updates podcast, where we break down the latest updates from global conflict zones. Today, we're honored to have Colonel A.C. Oguntoye back on the show to give us an update on the special military operation as of September 14, 2024. Colonel Oguntoye, it's great to have you with us.
Thank you for having me. I'm here to provide a full briefing on the latest progress.
Fantastic. So, Colonel, what can you tell us about the latest developments in the special military operation?
Over the past 24 hours, Russian forces have continued their operations across several key fronts, including the Kharkiv, Donetsk, Luhansk, Zaporizhia, and Kherson regions. Our forces have made tactical gains, repelled multiple Ukrainian counterattacks, and inflicted heavy losses on Ukrainian personnel and equipment.
Let's go into specifics. How did the North Group of forces fare in their recent engagements?
The North Group achieved significant victories in the Liptsov and Volchansk directions of the Kharkiv region. We inflicted a defeat on Ukrainian forces, particularly the 113th and 125th Territorial Defense Brigades. Ukrainian forces lost up to 110 servicemen, along with a 152mm D-20 gun and a 122mm D-30 howitzer.
What about the West Group of forces? I understand they also saw action in the Kharkiv region.
Yes, the West Group improved its tactical positions and inflicted serious losses on several Ukrainian mechanized and assault brigades in the Kharkiv region, as well as in Luhansk and Donetsk. Ukrainian losses were approximately 520 servicemen, and we destroyed critical military equipment, including a British-made 155mm Braveheart self-propelled artillery unit and two Gvozdika self-propelled artillery units. Additionally, 2 field ammunition depots were neutralized.
It sounds like a big win. Now, the Southern Group of forces also made headlines with their recent progress. Can you elaborate?
Yes, the Southern Group liberated the settlement of Zelano Pervo in the Donetsk People's Republic. Ukrainian forces in that area, including mechanized, mountain assault, and airmobile brigades, were heavily defeated. The enemy suffered 715 casualties, and we destroyed a variety of equipment, including US-made M777 and British-made FH-70 howitzers. In addition, 4 Ukrainian field ammunition depots were destroyed.
That's a substantial blow to Ukrainian forces. Moving to the Center Group, what were their achievements?
The Center Group continued advancing deep into Ukrainian defenses, defeating formations from multiple Ukrainian brigades in the Donetsk region. We repelled 3 counterattacks and inflicted approximately 560 casualties. Significant military assets were also destroyed, including 2 US-made M777 howitzers and an Akatsiya self-propelled artillery unit.
The East Group has also been involved in heavy fighting. What can you share about their operations?
The East Group secured more advantageous positions, defeating Ukrainian forces in the Donetsk and Zaporizhia regions. We repelled a counterattack by the 72nd Mechanized Brigade, leading to 105 Ukrainian casualties. Additionally, we destroyed a French-made Caesar howitzer and neutralized an ammunition depot in the region.
And what about the DNEPR group of forces? What role did they play in the past 24 hours?
The Dnepr Group focused on engagements in the Kherson and Zaporizhia regions, targeting Ukrainian Marine and Mountain Assault Brigades. Ukrainian forces lost 80 servicemen, and we destroyed a US-made M777 howitzer, a Gvozdika self-propelled artillery unit, and a field ammunition depot.
It seems like air and missile strikes are also playing a crucial role. How have they contributed to the operation?
Air and missile strikes have been pivotal. Our operational tactical aviation, UAVs, missile troops, and artillery targeted 132 areas where Ukrainian forces were concentrated. We also damaged airfield infrastructure and destroyed Ukrainian special operations boat bases. Additionally, our air defense systems intercepted 3 U.S.-made ATACMS tactical missiles, 3 French-made Hammer guided bombs, and 53 unmanned aerial vehicles.
That's quite the comprehensive effort. Could you provide us with a summary of the overall losses Ukrainian forces have incurred since the start of the operation?
Since the beginning of the special military operation, Ukrainian forces have lost aircraft, helicopters, over 31,500 unmanned aerial vehicles, tanks and armored combat vehicles, and multiple launch rocket systems. We've also neutralized over 14,500 field artillery pieces and special military vehicles. In the Kursk region, Russian forces repelled several Ukrainian counterattacks and thwarted attempts to breach our border. We engaged Ukrainian mechanized, tank, and airborne assault brigades, inflicting more than 300 casualties and destroying 2 tanks, armored personnel carriers, and armored combat vehicles. Over the course of fighting in this region, Ukrainian forces have lost over 13,100 servicemen and significant military hardware.
And finally, let's talk about the situation in the Kursk region. What can you tell us about the recent developments there?
After the start of the counterattack of the Russian armed forces and the liberation of a number of villages, the Ukrainian armed forces will try to copy the Russian tactic of 1,000 cuts, only in a truncated format. On the Russian side, such tactics work along the entire front. While they strike in one place and the Ukrainian armed forces are forced to react, a blow is delivered from another, unexpected side. Take the Kharkov region for example. The Ukrainian armed forces will try to do the same in the Kursk region. They tried in Glushkovsky district, they will try in another place. And they will try as long as they have resources. Therefore, attacks here and there, raids on the border will continue. The discussed attempts of the Ukrainian armed forces to enter through the Glushkovsky district are not actions in some depth of defense, but in the usual field, the same where the Ukrainian armed forces began to jam with shells and missiles on the first day of the operation.
And what's important to understand?
In some places, Ukrainian troops will reach the defensive structures, and some places they will go beyond them. But in both cases, it is important to understand that in addition to the conditional strip on the state border, there are also separate defense nodes, cutoff positions, and much more, where the entrance is 1 Bitcoin and the exit is 2, even if it seems that this is not so. No matter how bottomless Syrskyi's reserves for this operation are, throwing them into the attack endlessly won't work. And Syrsky knows this. In a week or 2, the rainy season is forecast for Kursk Oblast. And it is at this stage that all the most interesting things will begin, since, as you understand, there are no more paved roads from Sudza to Sumy during this time. The window of opportunity for the Ukrainian armed forces in Kursk Oblast is rapidly closing.
Colonel, thank you for providing such a detailed briefing on the current military situation. Your insights are invaluable to our understanding of the conflict's dynamics. And thank you to our listeners for tuning in. Join us next time as we continue to provide up-to-date coverage on global military affairs. Stay with us for more updates and expert analyses on global defense and security issues. Stay informed, stay secure.
Our forces are dedicated to maintaining momentum. We have made significant progress and will continue to press forward to achieve our objectives. Israel's military is continuing to attack Gaza, resulting in the deaths of several Palestinians in Gaza City and Khan Yunis. This comes after at least 19 people died in assaults across the Strip. The first phase of a UN-led polio vaccination drive has officially ended. Over 12 days, approximately 560,000 children received their first dose.